Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad to hear this morning. Got a great show lined up. Got a guest here in the studio. But first, as always, let's take a look at our weather. Brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning, Drew Pollard, and his hard-working crew taking care of our everyday comfort needs. It's going to be comfortable again. We're a little bit warmer today. These mornings have been pretty cool. We're looking at a high 78, low of 60. But get this, the water temperature actually dropped 3 degrees down to 69. It went from 72 yesterday to 69 today. That's interesting how those currents come in, but that's a pretty strong drop. You sometimes see 1 or 2, but you never see 3 hardly ever. But that was interesting. River readings brought to us by Panama City Coca-Cola. Looking at them, they're dropping like we talked about yesterday, a steady drop. The Apalachicola at Brunstown reading 9.3 this morning. Gives a good, slow, steady drop. The Choctawhatchee at Caryville is sort of leveling out now. It's at 6.5, and it's sort of level out. So this weekend should be in really good shape. Our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Finally starting to get a little bit of tide flow. It's going to be really strong for the weekend. Our high tide this morning, 9:52, and low tonight at 9:16. Our wind pretty steady this time of year. The last couple of days, pretty steady at southwest at about 11. I'll take a break, come back with our special guest. Okay, welcome back, and welcome to a guest. He's been on several times before, more than several times. Alan Courtney, welcome back.
Thank you. Been a while.
Well, it has been a while, but I mean, he goes way back to when we had the studio down at Harrison Avenue, and you come early, then we went on. So anyway, bass fisherman extraordinaire. And
I don't know about that.
He is. I'm serious. And had his kids in class and all, but we're going to talk about some bass fishing. He brought also some historical things he found. We've got all kinds of things to share. If you remember on that trip I took with Bobby Smith, catching bass number 60,000, Allen and the Bass Club was down there at the tournament.
Mossy Bass Club, yeah.
And he came over there next to our boat. If you remember, he had about a big old 6-pounder he showed us, and that one
6.8.
6.8. You remember exactly.
I got longer. That's
6.8 pounder out of Wimico, and he started around the tournament trail. You started that website years ago.
Years ago. And then
first one to do it, and it kept all the tournaments together, had a huge following and all. But anyway, he's been a trailblazer for bass fishing here in the Panhandle for a very long time. So welcome back. So,
glad to be here. So
what you got going?
Just fishing and playing a little golf, and golf is out right now because I swung about 3 weeks ago, swung that club and tore my meniscus on my knee. So
oh no,
I got to have that fixed, and then I'll get back at it.
So golf is a dangerous sport. You got to be careful.
Golf and fishing's tough stuff.
No, we don't usually get a combination, a good golfer and a good fisherman. If we do on occasion.
Not a good golfer. Just
a golfer and a good fisherman.
But yeah, we got a few pictures.
Okay, let's go. We've got some. This is a big bass.
Recent tournament results.
Okay, so. Who we have here?
This is the Dead Lakes Tackle Shop Trail. Jason Alderman runs it, and this was March at Lake Seminole. And it's Chad Pro and his son Hunter won that one with 21.2 pounds. That's what that bag is there. So,
Pro family up there from Mariana?
Yeah.
They used to be in Chipola College?
Yep.
Yeah, I know those folks. All right.
And that one is the, let's see here, get my notes here, the April Dead Lakes Tackle Shop, Bobby Smith and Jamie Johns, you know both those guys, out of White City, and that was over 19 pounds.
Whoa.
The weekend before we had the Winter Trail Classic, and Bobby didn't do well, and he got pretty mad at himself. He said, so we meet for lunch every day somewhere, me and Bobby and some of the other guys, and he said, I'm not coming to lunch this week until I know I'd go find me some fish. So Monday he didn't come to lunch, and he was back Tuesday because he found some fish, and it paid off. That was that was that.
Stop and listen to that now. What? And Bobby, 60,000 plus fish, and it still has that passion. And he don't do good at every tournament.
No.
and he did bad, so it made him mad, huh?
He had like 9 pounds, and he said, I'm not coming back to lunch till I go find me some fish. And then the next weekend had almost 20 pounds. So
I'm gonna join y'all for lunch, but y'all bounce around all over the place. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna get up for y'all for lunch.
You're welcome anytime.
I just want to sit around and just soak it all in.
It's fun. We have fun.
All these stories about these fish just get bigger and bigger. But now we have the pictures though. But
Bunch of retired guys. So,
that's a great picture. Okay, what about this one?
that one, they had a tournament at Deer Point about a month ago, a fundraiser, and that Ricky Ramey and find them out. Let's see, Carson Smith and Ricky Ramey, 17.45 pounds there, and his big one was almost 8 pounds.
Look at Ricky.
Yeah.
He's doing good for a young man like that.
That was his biggest personal best.
I was going to say.
He was really excited.
Very good. That's great, Ricky.
And this is the old Mossy Back Bass Club. Last weekend out of White City, Scott Bolka won with 14.5 pounds. And Mossy Back Bass Club is basically for retired people. You have to be 60 years old to fish it. And we fish the third Tuesday of each month. That way everybody's retired and you can do that. The lake, there's not many people out there fishing because it's on a Tuesday.
That's exactly right, yeah.
And we've had 20, 25 boats every month, you know. So,
that's quite a turnout. And I know a lot of those guys, and I thoroughly enjoy it. That time I was fishing Bobby on Wimico.
Yeah, we were having our tournament.
Y'all were out there then, and Bobby recognized, there's so-and-so, there's so-and-so. Recognized every boat out there.
Yeah.
And
Glenn Conley fishes it, and he's 90. He just turned 90 years old.
There you go.
So that's really pretty cool.
If somebody wanted to join, what would they do? Just get a hold of...
Yeah, they get hold of me or anything.
Get a hold of Adam Courtney. We'll put his phone number up a bit later.
For sure.
That's great. All right. Okay, we got old boats, but anyway, so we got a minute or two in this segment here.
Yeah.
Bass fishing been pretty strong lately.
Oh yeah, it's been really good.
Yeah.
And there's one picture that I may not have sent you, but they had the Winter Trail Classic a couple weeks ago out of White City.
I may not have it then.
Yeah.
Oh, that one?
There it is.
There it is, right here.
Yeah, and that one out of White City, Todd McGlaughlin and Algie Wade won it with almost 24 pounds.
Whoa.
With a big one of 8.98. So you might as well say that 9-pounder. And that's in the river system. That's
river
really
fishing.
Yeah.
River fishing now, that's outstanding.
Yeah, Apalachicola River System. Don't know where, but it can be anywhere. These guys will run up to
that's
Dead Lakes or, fish the Lake Wimico. You don't know for sure. But
that's at White City? Or?
That's at White City,
I see the bridge piling back there.
This is the Winter Trail. Because James Grant passed away about a year and a half ago. He ran that for 20-something years.
Yeah.
And then Kip Woods and Bobby Cato took it over this past year and did a really good job. So.
Good for them. That's something good to do. And what y'all do, y'all meet for lunch and then decide where you're going to go once a month. How do y'all do that?
Now, every tournament is different. If it's a monthly trail, those are set at the beginning of the year.
Okay.
Where and when and all this stuff.
But I'm in the Mossy Back.
Mossy Back, we meet the second Thursday of the month at Sunny's, and then vote where we're going to fish.
Vote on where you're going to fish.
Yeah, because we always fish the third Tuesday of the month.
How about that?
Yeah. It's
that way you know the river conditions and all that, and you sort of figure out that.
Yeah.
Very good. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with Adam Courtney. Okay, welcome back. See our guest, Adam Courtney. So good about coming on, so knowledgeable on bass fishing, but also we're talking about going outdoors and fishing and hunting and just walking through the woods and so many things you just see in nature and history and you ran across something. This is a great story about something Adam found. So we're going from bass fishing actually to, I want to say archaeology, but some local historical significance here. So Adam, tell this story.
Well,
about this.
All right, you talk about a picture is worth 1,000 words. You know, this picture, it's from Carter Track. Right now it's in Greenhead in Washington County, and they call it the Carter Track. And it used to be when Fitzhugh and Essie Carter were alive, they had this land, and I don't know how many acres there were, probably 1,500, 2,000 acres up there. And my grandfather and Fitzhugh grew up together, so because of that, he just gave me a key, and it was like my own, property. I kept a couple John boats up there, and I just came and went as I pleased. Wow. Just tons of bass fishes, blackwater cypress trees, fishing, big spring-fed, deep clear water ponds, and just
beautiful.
Real fortunate to be able to do that.
You were in paradise, right?
Yeah, it really was. So, but anyway, way back, because that picture, back in the day, Mr. Carter had his own sawmill, and he would cut cypress trees down and make the boards he needed to build those boats like that, and they were everywhere up in Carter's. And I heard back in the 40s and 50s, he would charge you $1 a carload to come in there and fish, and he furnished those boats that he made, you know. So, and
$1 a carload.
$1 a carload, yeah, yeah. And I don't know if you never knew Fitchie, did you? You talk about a character, you know. He's one of those guys you'd never forget, you know. He's about this tall.
I wish I'd done a story on him. I mean,
he was so cool. He could put his legs behind his neck, you know, and he would show you that. Yeah, he really was. So anyway, the cycle of those ponds up there, you know, every few years they're just droughts and they go low. But this particular time, it's probably 80% low, these ponds, if not more, you know. And I like to walk around up in the woods and, you know, find a lot of old bottles, you know. I've got a pretty decent bottle collection from that. Found a few old lures that were on stumps and things, you know. And then I ran across, there's lots of these boats up there, but they're just dilapidated. They've been setting out of the water. And the picture of that boat you showed there has probably been in the water for 40 or 50 years, but the lakes came down and exposed it. And I thought, well, that makes a great picture. So I took a few pictures of it. And then when I walked over there to it, I was amazed at what was inside this thing. There was still attached to inside the boat was these aluminum tags. Okay. And they said boat for hire, and you can see Game and Freshwater Fish Commission for Florida. That one was 1950.
1950.
Yeah. And the next one over, I think it was 54, possibly 53.
Okay.
And one that I didn't take a picture of was 1949.
Oh my
goodness. So those three were still attached to the inside of that boat that had been in there since 1949, at least. You know, that was pretty.
Been there
amazing.
75 years.
So I took them off. You know.
Yeah.
Took them home with me, and.
That's cool. You preserved some of our history there.
Yeah, that's just amazing to me. They were still attached in there. But then a couple of years later, Bass Pro Shops put out, they're having this Legends tournament in Disney World at Bay Lake inside of Disney World, which is a stock pond. And they were going to take 30 amateurs to fish with 30 pros. The pros like Kevin Van Dam and Rick Clunn and on and on and on. You know. So I thought, well, let me just send in this picture. It can't hurt. Well, lo and behold, it was one of the 30 picked, you know, for a 3-day, 2-night, all expense paid trip to go down to Disney World and fish with the pros. And it was televised on TNN. Remember TNN way back in the day?
Yeah.
What, Turner News Network or something?
Turner News Network.
So, you know, it was pretty cool that picture turned into all of that.
How cool is that?
Yeah, had a great time.
That's cool.
And then the bottle collection that I collected over the years, some old double colas and RC colas and knee highs, and one called Squeeze. But anyway, just a lot of them that don't exist and haven't existed for years, especially in bottle form, you know. So
well, there were so many local things going on back then. They would put the local names on them, and then big corporation bought them out, so you just have the big thing.
Well, we got
this is something.
Here's one I found. It's called Bird Beverages. And I did just a little bit of research, and it says Bird and Sons, Panama City, Florida.
Yeah, let's see. There you go, right there.
Yeah.
Bird and Son. Okay.
Yeah, Bird and Son Beverage, and it was bottled here in Panama City. I'm assuming downtown. And I thought I couldn't find much on it, but I didn't know if anybody from the Bird family was around here and wanted it. They're more than welcome to have it. They may have 20 of them. I do not know. But
see, I tell you what, I consider myself pretty knowledgeable on and have a good collection of all kind of things, but I've never seen an actual Bird bottle. The Bird family started the Pepsi Cola bottling company here. You know, Coca-Cola, and back then they would all do it locally. They would send the stuff and they'd bottle it locally. And Bird and Son, I don't know how many years they've had it. So I don't know how. But when he brought it in this morning, I was just in awe of it, really, because I've seen a lot of historical things, but I couldn't help but to think back when it happened in the 40s or 50s, whatever, I could see somebody out there drinking and just, you know, back then just threw the bottle in the water.
That's exactly
Probably had a fish on. I just reminded, I know he had a big fish on, threw the bottle down and started catching them. That is cool.
Yeah. So if any of the Bird family would like to have this and get a hold of you, they're more than welcome to have it. If not, I'll put it back in my collection. So
bottle collecting is a fun thing to do, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I don't know. I've just got them sitting in my garage on a shelf, you know, to look at every once in a while. But,
and it tells a lot about our local history here in the Panhandle. So that's cool stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And a bunch of them. Carter had a spillway up there that he made himself between the Black Pond and down into, I forget where it goes to this other pond, but that had been dry also. So a lot of those bottles had washed down that spillway and kind of got tucked back underneath there and still were intact, you know. So I got several of them.
So you found this like back in the 90s? Or
90s, yeah, late.
We had a drought going, so everything was low.
Yeah, ever so often those ponds up there, and I haven't really messed with them much in the recent years, but they would, every 5, 6, 7 years, there'd just be some cycle of them things would go 80, 90% gone, you know, in the drought.
So many times, that's when so many arrowheads and artifacts and everything are found when that water gets low. And it happens like that.
Yeah, and I'm lucky I didn't get bit by moccasins as much as I was, you know.
There's some big moccasins.
Yeah, I don't think I would do it these days, you know, because back when you were younger, you kind of young and dumb, you know, didn't think about it.
Oh, I think about it often, about rattlesnakes and moccasins.
I do now.
Yeah, we do now.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of them up there too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It really is.
For sure. So.
But that's some really cool stuff. You ever find many artifacts, anything up in that area?
No, I haven't. Now, when we go to Kentucky for our family reunion every year, there's just tons of arrowheads and musket balls and, you know, pottery and.
Oh, cool.
Because up there, it used to be that when they would plow the field, you know, they did it in steps. They would plow it. That's when you would go out there and find all this stuff. Yeah. And then, but now all the big combines, it gets plowed, it gets seeded and covered up all in one swoop. So you can't do it anymore as much as you could in the past, you know. So
that's cool. Yeah, that's cool.
Technology. So.
Let's take our final break and we'll be right back with Alan. Okay, welcome back. Sitting with Alan Courtney. Let's take a quick look at our fishing game times today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe. One time, 12:12 to 2:12. Got that full moon waning and real bright at night, so they're just feeding at night and in the middle of the day. And all your bass fishing, real quick before we get back to this, how do you feel about feeding times and all in bass fishing? Do you have different times when you catch them, or in general?
And there's been numerous times over the years that you look back on your day of catching them and go, boy, it sure was good. And I would, at this particular time of the day, and go home and compare it to what they say is the major feeding times, and you'd be surprised how many times it's actually true.
There you go. So, coming from a guy who's catching a bunch of fish. We got before we get back to bass fishing and all, I want to talk a little bit about Alan real quick about his career. He went way back to Moses, way back in the 70s, but you did something very interesting, and we're talking about career technical education, but tell folks what you did and what you do.
Yeah. Well, when I graduated in 76, I think in 75 and 76, they had a program you could, if your credits were good, your schooling was good, you could go to Haney part-time and you could go to high school part-time. So when you graduated from high school, you were also finished with your Haney subject, and I took drafting back then. So, and it paid off for me because I got a job out of high school / Haney in drafting, and that's what I've done ever since.
Okay, went to Haney Votech and started drafting. I mean, what a solid thing. Got a job at a Navy base with a contractor. With
contractors for the base, yeah. And I've been doing illustrations, graphic arts, and drafting, all kinds of drafting ever since. I've been with General Dynamics for the last almost 37 years.
37 years. And there's been a big push in education. Hey, we got to start doing career technical education. Hello, we've been doing a very long time here. Here's a great example of it, really, just going to technical school, had a great job, and still working a little bit part-time.
I work 1 day a week now. So.
I like that 1 day a week. Just don't forget enough gas money for the truck and the boat.
Money,
Fish money, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's been good. I can't complain whatsoever, you know.
Yeah. But, you got to give a shout out this morning to who?
Oh, my grandson, Braden Hedgecock. He was
Braden, remember last week we had the students of the month, week before last, students of the month. Braden is sat right over there. That's the grandson.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He's a good kid.
Fine young man.
You got him to talk more than he usually does. So.
He did great. I got some good comments. Every time we get a student on, we get some good comments. So how cool is that to have a granddad and grandson on in different weeks? And,
he's graduating from Mosley this year, and then his brother, my oldest grandson, is graduating from UCF this summer.
Awesome. So, very good. Very good. And he promised me now, I know you're a big bass fisherman, but he loves to redfish, so I want y'all to get together on a redfish trip and give me some pictures and all, because there's some similarities in redfish.
Oh, yeah. I used to go redfishing quite a bit. Just take my John boat and put it in Purdy Bayou, the first cold snap of the year, you know, and had same lures, same rod and reel, everything. Yeah. So,
Tell us a little bit about your daughter, Elena, who was in my class. Very talented young lady. We'd get her on, but we maybe get her to come on next time with you. But she's done some really cool things. Yeah,
she loves home improvements. You know, she'll try anything as far as that goes. You know, and so she started. You know, I'm not a TikTok guy or an Instagram guy, but I got on Instagram just to follow some of her videos. She does a lot of her own home improvements, and it's amazing to me what it's taken off. on TikTok, she's had one video that's over 50 million views. Others 2 and 3 and 4 million views, and now that just is crazy.
Right.
But if you want to go check out some of her stuff, it's Elena Kathleen Home, I guess.
Well, we're going to do that, and I'd love to get her to come on the show and all. But I was joking with Alan. I always tell the young people or people come on the show now, you need to talk. If you don't talk, I'm going to ask you to sing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not with her because her voice, she has that beautiful voice. She'll just start singing.
She can sing now. She's our worship leader at our
I know. Angelic voice. She really does.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a couple minutes left. What's coming up with your bass fishing and all, tournaments and all coming up in springtime and later spring?
This weekend there's a Real Money Team Trail at the end of the road because the river is now projected to be below 10 feet, so they're going to keep it at the end of the road rather than move it.
Oh, that's how y'all do it? If it's at the end?
Yeah, most of the time if it's under 10, if it's over 10, they'll move it,
Okay.
And when even last month, Seminole was just a mud hole. The Flint River was muddy, the Chattahoochee was muddy, or Chattahoochee was muddy, excuse me, not Chattahoochee. So we went into Spring Creek. It's about the only halfway decent water we could find to fish. I think, Chad Pro won that one to 21. We caught plenty.
He's a pretty good fisherman.
No, Chad's been around forever. Yeah.
We got one coming up right here now. Tell us about this one.
Yeah, the 3rd annual Red Holland Memorial Project Graduation Bass Tournament. As you can see there, $2,500 first place.
Wow.
Can't remember, but I think it's okay. There it is. $150 entry fee. You fish by yourself or a team of 2 people. So that's always a really good tournament. Everybody knows who Red Holland is or was, So, and this is the end of the road. And
that's another good place to have a tournament too, because
it's a perfect place because you can run way on up. There's some of the guys who will run to Lake Seminole, believe it or not.
I've heard that.
Lock through, but you better know you're going to catch them if you're going to spend that much time.
How do you know when to start heading back? Or just
well, usually you can talk to the lock master and talk to him and get a time. Okay, will you open it this time? Or he'll tell you when he's going to open it. So you'll be back waiting for that, because if not, you can.
How long does it take you to run up the river?
To Seminole?
Yeah,
I'd have to say, I guess I've never done it, but maybe an hour.
Solid.
Yeah, it's almost like the end of the road is the halfway point. It takes. And I have ran from White City to Weewah before.
It really is a great location because you go down or up, like you said.
Yep. But I've ran from White City to Weewah before, and that took a solid hour. And so I think it's about an hour to.
It's about halfway.
It's 105 miles, I think, from the Jim Woodruff Dam to the Apalachicola Bridge.
Yeah.
So.
Good thing they got those big motors.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, and they suck the gas too. But that's another bad thing too. There's no going on the river, so you better know that you got enough to make it there and back.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, we're about to run out of time, but we're going to have to come back on, get you to come back on and bring a land. Yeah. It's really always great having you on.
It's good to be here. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
That's some cool stuff you had.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Appreciate everything you do.
Take care.
Okay. Folks, we appreciate you watching Panhandle Outdoors. Here's Florida Panhandle right here, the kind of folks we have. Y'all do something good today for someone else. Have a great day. Enjoy the outdoors. Take care of it. And God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.